You're listening to Dene Michael here on True Radio, the home of proper good music and proper good interviews. And this week, we're very, very fortunate to have the wonderful Peter Donegan. Hi, Peter.
Hello, Dean. How are you?
I'm good. Are you enjoying this music?
No, I think it's absolutely fantastic, sir. Yes.
We're known for proper good music, you see.
It's proper good music, is it up here?
It
Aye.
is, it is.
Where are you, Dean, by the way?
I'm in Yorkshire. I'm in the Yorkshire Dales,
In the
uh,
Yorkshire Dales, are you? Yeah,
where
because
the film.
my mum's a Scarborough lass.
Oh, right. Oh, I used to do summer seasons in Scarborough many years ago. Many,
Oh,
many
yeah,
years
beautiful
ago, yeah.
place.
Wallace's holiday camp in Cape Bay. Wonderful
Oh,
times.
wow.
Are you in London, Peter? You're living in London, or are you from London?
I am currently sitting in London right now. From next week, I will be back in the US, and I've got some gigs in Baltimore and Maryland.
Oh, fantastic. Oh, wonderful. Because you're a big star over there with the country music and everything, aren't you? You
Well,
know.
I mean, I love performing in America. I mean, I'm a permanent legal resident in the state of Florida, so I'm a West Palm Beach resident, and yeah, it's. I mean, because last year's single, which was meant to include the album, which we're still recording now, because the pandemic has just really put a kibosh on a whole load of things. And Thank You Texas, which was the single from last year, which was written at the Buddy Holly songwriting retreat, co-written with two fantastic Texans. One is Jerry Serrano, who's from Lubbock, and then the other lady was Maddie Davis, who was on The Voice in the US.
Yes, I remember seeing that one as
She's got
well. Yeah,
great smoky voice, really,
yeah,
really lovely.
yeah,
So I felt better writing a song because I mean the song was my idea because I'd really fallen in love with Texas. Like they say, Texas is a state of mind.
yeah,
It really is. It's totally different.
yeah.
And I really did love it. So when I wrote "Thank You Texas," it got picked up really nicely, and it did well in the Heritage charts in the UK.
Yeah,
And on the was it the Hot Disc Top 40? It did well. It stayed for like number one in 6 weeks on that one.
yeah.
And then I won awards, my first ever awards. For myself, rather than picking up something posthumously for my dad. Lonnie. So yeah, I managed to pick up original song of the year at the Texas Sounds Country Music Awards. Is
Fantastic.
there?
Now we're
So
actually on Zoom, so I can actually see that.
yeah, I
It's
know.
brilliant.
That's
Yeah.
the wheels on the bus go round and round. You can tell I got a child, and then I got back there as the other one, which was for male vocalist of the year in the same night.
Yeah.
And But I had to do that one virtually because of the pandemic.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
So
yeah.
I'm going back. I'll be there in Jefferson, Texas, this year in October, in person. So,
Fantastic. I bet you're looking forward to that.
very
Another
much.
thing we have in common, Peter, we spoke earlier about having things in common, and
Yeah,
we've got a mutual friend called Paul Jackson from the northeast
we
of England.
do.
Yes,
We do.
Paul's
Yeah.
actually
No,
working with
Paul's
me.
a great guy. Paul's a great guy. We worked on some stuff. Was it 2013, 2014? We were working on some things, and it was that period where I decided to, um, you know, uh, sort of throw aside the idea of finding a record label or anything, because anytime whatever record label it was, they would only do an album if I had basically it was just a redo of dad stuff.
Right, right. That's what
And
they want, isn't it? Yeah,
if I was lucky and kicked up enough of a storm, they might let me put one of my songs on the album.
yeah, yeah.
So it was a point in time where I'd gone, you know what, screw it, and got together with Chris because we're both country people.
Yeah. Chris Morris,
Uh,
is that Chris Morris and Paul? Is Chris Morris from Paper Lace? Do you know Chris?
I do know Chris. Yeah, no, sorry, I meant to say Paul
Yeah,
because I keep because I know Paul Jackson. I know Chris Jackson. Chris Jackson was who used to own the Americana Festival in Newark,
yeah, yeah,
which now doesn't work unfortunately. But that was the first gig I ever did with my dad as his piano player was at the Americana Festival in Newark,
yeah, yeah.
which now it's FSA Fest there now.
Right, right, yeah, yeah. These are fantastic stories. They're wonderful. And at the moment,
Oh,
you're
yeah,
working with
I've got stories coming out the wazoo. Don't worry about it.
and at the moment you're working with Stuart Epps as well, who we had on a few weeks ago now on True.
Yes, yes, yes. I mean,
Stuart's a great
apparently his life wasn't hard enough. He's decided to work with me.
guy.
Uh, you know, which is challenging for the for the toughest of people. So yeah, we're working on a song because it's a funny thing, you know. I'd put in my track, which is a song called Shelter, which is co-written with a friend of mine in New Mexico, Sean Heelan, really cool songwriter. And Stuart actually heard it as part of a competition to master a song. And he contacted us afterwards to say, I love this song. This is what I want to do, but I don't want to just mix it. I want to produce it. And I was like, all right, well, let's give that a shot. And we realized that it's still a small world because, you know, he'd done, I think it was the producing for Bill Wyman and the Rhythm Kings album,
He did,
and
yes.
then had gone on the road doing the sound with them. And of course, they all came to Malaga. My dad got up, and I met everybody there while my dad did a guest spot.
Yeah, yeah,
And of course, he knows Albert Lee, who was
yeah,
touring with the Rhythm Kings at the time.
yeah,
And for those of you who know, Albert's son Wayne is a great piano player,
yeah.
and Wayne, who I've known all my life, he plays piano with me in the band as well.
Your
So
band, yeah, yeah, yeah.
it's all very incestuous.
Oh, it's fantastic. It's wonderful. Absolutely great. Now, what we're going to do, Peter, we're going to take another short break here. We're going to play some more music and then we'll come back to you and talk about what's happening in the future. So thanks ever so much, Peter Donegan, for being with us here on True Radio.
Thank you.